asking why funds earmarked for firefighting were spent elsewhere.
South Africa's jailed former president Jacob Zuma has been admitted to hospital less than a week before he's due in court on further charges of corruption. Nonsa Maseko reports from Johannesburg.
Jacob Zuma's health issues have been a mystery to South Africans for many years, and it's not the first time the former president has blamed medical ailments for missing vital court dates and appearing at a corruption inquiry which was set up by the government. The 79-year-old has claimed to be the victim of a poison attempt and has said he still feels the after effects. Before the COVID-19 pandemic, Mr. Zuma was still flying to Cuba to receive medical treatment. Critics argue this could be another convenient illness, as Mr. Zuma is due in court next Tuesday in connection with corruption allegations surrounding an arms deal.
State media in North Korea say heavy rain and flooding have destroyed more than 1,000 homes and large areas of farmland, adding to concerns about food shortages in the country. Some areas recorded more than a month's worth of rain in 3 days. Meteorologists said more was expected. Shortages have been exacerbated by strict border closures to prevent the spread of COVID-19. World news from the BBC. Rebels from Ethiopia's Tigray region have rejected calls by the United States to leave neighbouring areas, a day after they seized a UN World Heritage Site in Amhara State. On Thursday, Tigrayan forces took control of the town of Lalibela, with its rock-hewn churches, which is of great importance to Ethiopia's Orthodox Christians. There were no reports of fighting, but some residents fled. The head of the International Olympic Committee, Thomas Bach, has accused 2 coaches from Belarus of deplorable behaviour over accusations they tried to force an athlete to return home from the Tokyo Games against her will. Mr. Bach said he was happy that the Belarusian sprinter Krystyna Simanowskaya was now safe in Poland. Mr. Bach said the IOC was acting in the interest of the athletes.
The IOC is not in a position to change the political system in a country. What our responsibility and our remedies is to protect the athletes and then to sanction those or to keep those out of the games who are infringing on our values.
The 2 coaches have lost their accreditation and have been asked to leave Tokyo. A court in Sudan has sentenced 6 members of a paramilitary group to death for killing protesters during demonstrations 2 years ago over fuel and food shortages. The shooting dead of the 6 people, including 4 school children in North Kordofan by the Rapid Support Forces, sparked days of protests across the country. The judge said the RSF had used unnecessary and excessive force. A new coronavirus lockdown has come into force in the Philippine capital Manila and some other areas to try to slow the spread of the highly transmissible Delta variant. Only essential businesses and workers can operate for the next 2 weeks. BBC News.
天天在一起，天天用心听，听见台北的声音。FM 93.1，幸福永远属于你。
公民总主笔，
方恩格时间。
谁当家？
谁当家？谁当家？你当家？
谁当家？
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 我当
家？
你当家？我当家？
我当家？
到底谁当家？你来当家。
To Residence Messenger, I'm your host, Ross Darrell-Fontel. Today, our guest is Ayaye Yoshimoto. Ayaye, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
Ayaye is a Japanese resident of 3 years here in Taipei. Graduate from Zhengda, correct?
Yeah.
Congratulations on recently completing your master's. And you're about to leave Taiwan. And with the Olympics in Tokyo and the success of Team Taiwan, we're so fortunate to have someone from Japan to join us on the show. So welcome, Ayaye. And before we talk about your time in Taiwan and the Olympics in Tokyo, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where in Japan did you grow up?
Oh, I'm from Hiroshima. Yeah, I lived in Hiroshima for 18 years. And I moved to Kyoto to go to college.
And when you were growing up in Hiroshima, what did you want to be? I mean, I'm sure at the time you weren't thinking, I'm going to grow up and get a master's degree at Chengchi Dashi and type. That probably wasn't your priority. So what were you thinking of doing when you were growing up?
So when I was younger, I think I just wanted to be a housewife.
You wanted to be a housewife?
Yeah.
And was that similar with your friends in your friends in Japan, your childhood friends? Was that everyone wanted to be a housewife?
No, they're working, I think. But my mom is a housewife. So I thought I was just going to be a housewife like my mom when I was a little. Yeah.
Okay. When you were growing up in Hiroshima, what did you know about Taiwan?
I didn't know anything about Taiwan.
Nothing? No culture? You never saw a movie or heard a song or anything from Taiwan?
No, never. I didn't even speak Chinese or English. So I didn't know anything about Taiwan or like even, no.
So where did you learn to speak English so well?
In college, because I went to Canada for 1 year as an exchange program when I was in sophomore year. Yeah, sophomore year.
And where in Canada did you go?
Nova Scotia.
A little bit cold there in the winter, huh?
Yeah, a little bit. Have you been there?
No, I try to avoid the cold. But you mentioned you spent 1 year in Canada, but your university degree was actually at Doshisha University, which is in Kyoto. And I think people in Taiwan they know a lot about Kyoto. It's a popular tourist destination for people here in Taiwan. But tell us what it was like living there as a university student. Because for us, we go there as tourists for a few days. But give us some insight, or what does it feel like to actually live there and be a student there?
No, it's pretty awesome because we have, like, Kyoto had so many colleges and universities, so they have so many students, and also they have a lot of international students. So it was pretty fun to hang out with people from different backgrounds, but we just don't go to temples and shrines stuff.
Yeah, because that's what it's so known for, right? The culture and things like that. But when did you then say, because you said you hadn't heard about Taiwan growing up and it was in university, when did you first hear about Taiwan or learn a little bit about Taiwan?
So when I was in Kyoto, I was working at a hotel. And I was working as a receptionist, and then I got like so many guests from Taiwan. Then I got to know about them.
And I'm sure they were very nice, correct?
Yeah, they are.
you bet. Yeah, you should say that because we're here in Taiwan.
Yeah, Taiwanese people are so nice and polite. Yeah.
There seems to be a lot of Japanese students studying in Taiwan recently, more and more, in fact, and we see them at university getting university degrees or doing exchange. And then we also see them at master's programs like yourself getting master's degrees. So let's talk about them separately first. So for university students, why is Taiwan an attractive alternative for Japanese students to not get a degree in Japan or some other country like the US or Canada? Why is getting a university degree an attractive option for Japanese students?
Like in Taiwan, so first of all, I think it's cheaper.
So cost considerations.
Yeah, I think so. Like, I have a friend who's studying his bachelor's here, and he said he came to Taiwan because it's much cheaper.
Did he have anything else to say though? Like, well, they have a really good department. I really, I love my professor. All he said was, well, it's cheap.
Yeah. He said it was cheaper because it was cheaper, and maybe also because he wanted to learn Chinese. I think Taiwan is a good place to study Mandarin.
For Japanese who have not previously studied Mandarin and they get to the university, or they want to come to university and do a 4-year bachelor's degree in Mandarin, how difficult is it for them to pick up the Mandarin so that it's at a sufficient level to do a 4-year bachelor's all in Mandarin?
I didn't do that, so I don't know, because my program was in English, but I think it's pretty hard. But it's easier for us, like for Japanese people, to learn Mandarin and take classes, like compared to like Westerners or people from other regions.
you said your master's was all in English, but what are some of the other factors that attract Japanese to get a master's degree here in Taiwan?
Master's in Taiwan. Like my reasons that I came to Taiwan was that I was interested in cross-strait relations, and I also like how diverse Taiwanese society is, like compared to Japan or other Asian countries. So yeah, that's why I came to Taiwan to study my master's. I really like the environment.
And what are some other reasons you hear from some of the other Japanese students who come here, besides it's cheap or they like the environment?
Also, Taiwan is pretty, like, culturally close to Taiwan. So I think if it's really easier for us to get used to life here. And Taiwanese people are so nice and friendly. Yeah, that's also one reason why a lot of Taiwanese
you've
people
spent
come.
3 years at university in Taiwan getting a master's. And you also studied at Doshisha University, and you were in Nova Scotia for a year. So now that you've spent time in 3 very different university environments, tell us some things that surprised you. When you got to Zhengda, what is something that surprised you about being a student in Taiwan?
I don't know. I thought about it, but I don't know. I don't think there's so many cultural shock or something in Taiwan. Yeah.
So the bureaucracy was the same, similar to what you experienced in Japan. Classroom environment, similar, things like that. Was
No, not the same. But like so Doshisha University is private and National Chunchi University is public. So I think that makes also a difference. Yeah, but is it like something that surprised me in a positive way or negative way? Can I say like negative thing too?
Sure, go ahead. Something you didn't like, yeah.
Yeah, I thought not my program itself, but some stuff is a little bit unorganized here. Yeah,
a little bit disorganized. You mean like the central administration of the university?
Kind of stuff.
I think anyone who's spent time in a school in Taiwan may have experienced a little bit,
a
little bit of that.
Not my personal experience, but my classmate experience. Yeah, some very disorganized stuff. So
but they're all nice people, so I guess that's okay.
Yeah, people are still nice, but yeah, it's okay, of course, but yeah.
What about inside the classroom? Of course, you were getting a master's, so you had a lot of foreign classmates as well, not all Taiwan classmates, but Japan students have a reputation, like a lot of countries in Asia, they don't necessarily speak up in class.
Yeah, we don't,
What about here in Taiwan, by comparison?
So, most of my classmates are from not Taiwan, and so I feel like, but my Taiwanese classmates are really, like, westernized, so they speak a lot in class, but that's also a difference between Japan, Taiwan, and like other.
And of course, in Western country, where students are going to give their opinions all the time.
I didn't really speak a lot in my classes.
No.
To be very honest,
Speaking of that, all your classes were in English, and this is a trend. Right? A lot of universities in Taiwan are starting to offer all English programs, both at the bachelor's level as well as the master's level. Was that smoothly operated? I mean, did the professors, did you have Taiwan professors or
I did.
You had Japanese professors? Was their English all good enough for everyone to understand?
Yeah, I think so. Taiwanese people in general speak very good English, I think. Yeah.
So no complaints about that. You're happy with the English language.
Yeah.
And what about your interaction with the Taiwan students as well? You were also impressed with their English language ability?
Yeah, their English is pretty good. Yeah.
How about, I'll ask you a tough question then. Did you meet a lot of Taiwan students when you were at Zhengda who were studying Japanese? And how was their Japanese language ability?
So I know many people from Japan studies in National Chunchi University, like Riven Yanzhou. Yeah, their Japanese is also pretty good. I think, yeah.
Well, it's good to hear that younger, especially for younger people, because being able to speak a second or a third language is so crucial. Let's talk a little bit about life in Taipei outside of school. Japanese students in Taipei, what are some things they like to do outside of class?
Maybe they like drinking.
Drinking?
Yeah, we like drinking.
Okay, we should say, if we're going to say drinking, we should say don't drink and drive. We should always issue that.
No, we don't drive.
Drinking, that was the popular activity?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. I don't know though. I don't know. I'm not sure.
You want to deny any involvement?
Maybe like going to night markets. Yeah, something like that.
And when you were out and about in Taipei and you speak in Mandarin, Taiwanese people could tell right away that you're not from Taiwan?
Oh.
Or did they confuse you for someone who's from Taiwan?
No, they don't, because I don't look like people say I don't look like Taiwanese, and I have accent in my Chinese, so yeah, they can tell that I'm not from Taiwan.
Yeah, so they just tell you right away, oh, you're not from Taiwan.
Yeah, like, why go around?
Tell us a bit about things Taiwanese people would say to you about Japan. Maybe a misunderstanding or assumption, things that you found funny that Taiwanese people would say to you about Japan. Or did they have stereotypes, things like that?
Yeah, they have. But I think Taiwanese people understand Japanese culture and Japanese people pretty well. So I wouldn't say there's so many misunderstandings in their perceptions of Japan or Japanese people. But I feel like a lot of people assume like we like anime and manga so much.
So everyone just comes up to you and wants to talk about anime and manga.
Yeah, like what's your favorite manga or what's your favorite anime? But like, no, I don't watch. A lot of Japanese people don't watch anime or manga, so I'm like, yeah, that's kind of stereotype that people have towards Japanese people. Okay, so
Ayaye has made it very clear, if you meet someone from Japan, you don't ask them, like, what's your favorite anime?
Yeah, I don't like getting that question.
Okay, so what question would be a good thing to ask Japanese people?
Oh, that's a tough question. Like, whatever is okay, but like not always about anime, manga, and sushi. Yeah.
Okay. What about Taiwanese food? Do you and your Japanese friends really like Taiwanese food? Now, be honest.
Be honest, right?
Yes,
no,
you have to be honest.
No.
You didn't like Taiwanese food?
No.
Because you said one favorite activity was to go to the night market, and that's typically where people will try some of the more unique Taiwanese foods. But is that a personal preference, or do you find a lot of younger Japanese also didn't really like Taiwanese food?
Yeah, I feel like a lot of Japanese people don't really like Taiwanese food. Maybe they like, but they don't really like so much. Yeah.
Did you have a favorite Taiwanese food, though, even though you generally weren't a big fan?
I love like zaotang in Taiwan, like dambing or xiandojang. And loboga, yeah, I like, and xiaolongbao. Japanese people love xiaolongbao.
Okay, so there's some things.
Yeah, there's something that we love.
Okay, so let me guess that besides going to the night market or drinking, a favorite activity of Japanese people who live in Taipei was also to go eat Japanese food.
Yeah.
Okay. So give us a general perspective, like how good is the Japanese food in Taiwan?
So if it's from Japan, like chain restaurant, like Ilan or some other stuff, it's good. But if it's like Japanese Taiwanese restaurant, or Taiwanese Japanese restaurant, I don't know, they're not really authentic.
Not really. I think. How about the sushi train restaurants with the sushi going by for?
Like Sushi Express.
Yeah.
No. But maybe like Sushiro and Kurazushi, because they're Japanese chains.
Yeah. Well, my own perspective is, you get what you pay for.
Yeah, that's true. But you have to pay more if you want to get authentic Japanese food in Taiwan, I think. It's
all right. So
pricey.
give us your insider information, right? If people want to buy authentic Japanese food for their home, not like going to a nice restaurant, they want to buy like instant noodles or other kind of snacks from Japan. What are some really good places that you like to go to buy that stuff in Taipei?
Oh, it's like snacks, and you can just go to 7-Eleven or Chuanlian or supermarket because they have so many Japanese snacks and they're pretty good.
And what about for restaurants? Did you have some favorite Japanese restaurants in Taipei?
I don't have any, to be honest.
Okay, let's talk a bit about COVID-19. We'll shift a bit to a more serious topic for a few minutes. So, you were in Taiwan throughout the COVID-19 pandemic, and for a long time, from the start of the pandemic until maybe May of this year, situation in Taiwan was a lot better than other countries. Well, when you called up your family in Japan, you spoke to them on the phone. What did you used to tell them, 6 months ago or a year ago?
Yeah, I was like, oh, Taiwan is so good. I still go out. I can go to like even nightclubs and drinking and no problem. I don't even wear a mask. Yeah, I was like bragging.
You were bragging about like things are so good in Taiwan. Now we're sitting here wearing masks.
Yeah.
So what did they say to you at the time? I mean, were they worried? Did they believe you that the situation was okay?
Yeah, they believed me because I think like how Taiwan was handling the situation was like kind of famous in Japan, so everyone knows how Taiwan was good at it.
There was a lot of positive news coverage in Japan at the time.
Yeah.
And what about recently? What did you tell them? Like once we had this level 3, is that when you said like I need to come home?
Yeah, I was like first I was like, oh, I'm gonna go back right now, but right now I told them like things get a lot better lately. Yeah. And Taiwan is Japan is still a lot worse than Taiwan. So I have nothing.
Let's talk a bit about that. Tell us about the experiences of your family or your close friends in Japan, and I'd be very curious to hear about their experiences in different cities as well, Tokyo or other places around Japan. Share us a bit what you hear from your family and friends and kind of their daily life.
Yeah, so my family is in Hiroshima, and they haven't been out a lot since like last year, and they've been so bored. Yeah, and I have many friends in Osaka and Tokyo. Yeah, they have like same situation. They also been so bored and fed up with the situation. But I think nowadays they go out. Yeah, even though like restaurants are not supposed to open, they still go out and have fun and meet up with their friends. So yeah, I think people kind of give up.
People they're getting frustrated, so they're going out even though the virus is still spreading and
I think
variants are spreading as well.
Yeah.
But Japanese people they have a reputation for following the rules, right? If they're told to stay home and be careful, normally we would assume that Japanese people are going to do that.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. But like it's been a year and a half, so I think people are not following the law. Or I'm sure some people are still, but like, people are so tired.
They're tired of being at home. They want to go out. What about work from home? We have. I'll give you my kind of stereotype, right? That stereotype of the Japanese office worker is that he or she works in the office. From 8 a.m. to some really late hour. So, could Japanese people or companies shift easily to work from home?
Yeah, I think so, because they had no choice, especially back in last April. When the situation got really bad. I think so.
So when you go back to Japan, you're just going to be locked in your apartment working from home?
Oh, actually, I'm going to be out office. I'm going to work from office.
You're going to work from an office. You're not worried about...
I am, but I don't have a choice.
No choice. We all know about the Japanese donation of vaccines to Taiwan. What did your Taiwan friends say to you? how did they react?
Oh, they said like, thank you so much. Yeah, and it was so sweet to see a lot of Taiwanese people changing their profile pictures. You know, you have seen like the one with saying like thank you in Japanese. Yeah. And like cute stickers. Yeah.
Yeah. Did anyone offer to like buy you dinner or something like that to thank you, send you flowers? Or?
No, they didn't.
No, you didn't? Okay, so people listening, they still have a chance before you leave Taiwan in a few weeks to do that. Did you feel at times though there was overreaction? Putting Japan's flag up in lights on buildings and stuff like that, or people wearing masks with the Japan and Taiwan flags. Did you feel like it was too much?
No, I didn't think it was too much.
Yeah, so thank you more.
Yeah,
you want more thank you, okay.
Yeah, I was so happy to see people with Japanese masks and
Do you think this means that the Japanese people are aware of this, or it's more like a government-to-government kind of political thing?
Yeah, I think it's more like political thing. You know?
So the average person in Japan, they're not really aware of the vaccines that Japan is donating to Taiwan or other countries?
No, I think they did know. They did know that, but they don't really pay attention to it. Yeah.
They don't pay attention to it?
I don't know though.
I guess you'll find out when you get back to Japan. Yeah. When Japan first donated vaccines to Taiwan, there was at least one mayor in Taiwan who said he was going to let Japanese residents get priority for the vaccines.
Really?
Yeah. So no one called you up and said you get priority for the donated vaccines?
No. I didn't get any call.
No one called you? Yeah,
No.
I think it was the mayor of Tainan, but the mayor here in Taipei didn't do that.
Oh yeah, maybe that's why.
And America has donated vaccines, but no one called me up and said I get priority either. Okay, we're going to take a short break. But when we come back, we'll talk more about being Japanese in Taiwan and COVID-19, and we'll talk about the Olympics.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, you're listening to Resonance Messenger on Taipei Broadcasting Station.
有长照服务需求、长照特别扣除额问题，请拨打1966长照专线，5分钟内通话免付费。一通电话让长期照顾管理专员协助申请长期照顾服务及解答长期照顾特别扣除额相关问题。以上内容由台北市政府卫生局提供。
爸爸应酬不开车，黄色嘟嘟安全多。应酬喝酒不过量，安全回家最上道。爸爸要平安回家哦。
喝酒不开车，开车不喝酒哦。让我们一起尊重生命，拥抱亲情。
亲爱的民众，提醒您定期清除排油烟机内部油垢。烹煮食物时，切忌分心做其他事情，并注意人离火熄。且厨房附近应设置灭火器，操作时保持适当距离。当厨房火灾时，严禁以水灭火。油锅起火也千万不要移动油锅，以免翻覆造成火势扩大延烧。以上内容由台北市政府消防局提供。
亲爱的朋友，您还在吸烟吗？快拿着健保卡到戒烟门诊，或拨打戒烟专线0800636363。提醒您，最近兴起的电子烟、加热烟，因为没有浓浓的烟臭味，就被认为无害。其实已经证实，新兴烟品都有二手烟及三手烟的危害，甚至还有爆炸的风险。我是义工蔡依林，所有烟品都 get out。我拒烟，我骄傲。
大家好，我是防疫车队的司机汪佑廷。我是一位专业的驾驶，在防疫期间负责将入境台湾的旅客平安送往检疫地点。作为防疫车队的驾驶，必须接受完整的防疫教育训练，确实做好个人防护措施，定时消毒车内环境，保护旅客及自己的健康。接种公费 COVID-19 疫苗后，不仅让我更安心执行每一次接送任务，也让家人更放心支持我的工作。
有政府，请安心。资讯由疾管署提供。
家己电台家己主持的。大家好，我是郭文哲，我伫台北广播电台。
谁当家？
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 你当家？
谁当家？
谁当家？
谁当家？我当家。你当家？我当家。
我当家。
到底谁当家？你来当家。
Welcome back to Residence Messenger. Our guest today is Ayae Yoshimoto. I'll try and say your name in Mandarin. Jiben Caihui. Did I get it right?
Yeah.
Okay. We're talking about your experience as a Japanese resident here in Taipei for 3 years and COVID-19 in Japan versus Taiwan. We'll talk about the Olympics as well. Before the break, we were talking about COVID situations, and you're going back to Tokyo, and you said you're going to have to work in an office.
Yeah.
And you don't have a vaccine yet.
No.
And how long do you think you'll have to wait? What are they telling you?
I have no idea.
Yeah, so there's no guidance on when you'll get vaccinated.
Yeah, because I'm not in Japan right now. Yeah, so I have to see how the situation goes with me.
And are they starting to use the AZ vaccine, though, in Japan?
I don't know yet. I saw the news, but I think like people only like above some age can use it.
Yeah. Oh, senior citizens.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Are Japanese people we call in English hesitant? Or do they have a lot of vaccine hesitation? Do they think it's dangerous for their health, or do they think the government's lying, hiding something? We see a lot of that in the United States.
Yeah.
Is that also something that you see in Japan as well?
Not as many as the U.S.
No, okay.
Yeah.
So people are generally they trust.
Yeah, they trust.
Yeah. So then, what? You study a little bit about politics. So, what is the issue then? Why has Japan been relatively slow in vaccinating its population?
Oh, I think it's because of the government, because it was taking so much time to process all the procedures and stuff. Yeah,
so bureaucratic inefficiency?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, not because of people hesitating or something. Yeah.
Okay, well, I mean, I think like Taiwan, I mean, we see that this improves over time, right? As they get more vaccines and better organized with the distribution. Will there be an app like you have in Taiwan where you can just book your appointment?
Oh yeah, but I heard like you have to book online. But I don't know if they have an app or something. I think it's just website.
Yeah, so when you go back to Japan, you could tell everyone, well, in Taiwan, they have an app for this. Or
yeah, I will, for sure.
or when you visit a store or an office in Taipei, you get to use an app to scan the QR code. Let's talk about the Olympics. Take us back to when Tokyo first won the right to host the 2020 Olympics, so a few years ago. Was that something that the population broadly was following closely, or was it just viewed as something for politicians, government, big business makes a lot of money, or was it something that the people in general were really excited and proud that Tokyo would be hosting?
Yeah, people were so excited back in, I don't know when it was when Tokyo decided to host Olympics in 2020.
So generally people were very supportive.
Yeah, they were, I think.
And what about as we got closer, right? I mean, as the COVID situation began, and then got worse, and then the Olympics were canceled,
almost,
and then there was a long kind of debate about proceeding this year. Help us understand the issues there, and sort of not from the government perspective, but just the average Japanese person, why the support for hosting the Olympics really started to fall.
Yeah, because like inside of Japan, we still had so many cases. So then Olympics is very expensive, and we are paying so many tax already. So why do we have to host the Olympic when we are like in the classes? Yeah, people were complaining about it so much until it actually started.
So help fast forward to that point. When the Olympics actually began, now it's almost 2 weeks ago, the athletes arrived, opening ceremony, even though you couldn't attend, but it looks nice on TV. Did public opinion change?
I think so, because now it started, we cannot stop it anymore. So people are really, I think enjoying watching the games. And
so you think after the games, public opinion will say like it was okay to host them?
Yeah, now I think so. Yeah, and we have no choice anymore. Like,
no choice anymore. It's too late.
Yeah, it's too late anyway. So like people are not complaining anything, I think. Yeah.
And you mentioned the high cost, and a lot of cities that have hosted the Olympics have had a problem where they build new facilities, stadiums, parks, things like that, and then they kind of go to waste after.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you think there's a risk of that in Tokyo?
Yeah, I think so, and not only stadiums, but Japan was making so many hotels like before, like 2020, but now we don't have any tourists from outside.
No tourists.
No audience. So I think they wasted so much money on them.
Yeah, so there'll be a lot of empty hotels in Tokyo.
Not only
afterwards.
Tokyo, but all over Japan.
Well, one thing I noticed though in the period before the Olympics, because I saw a lot of international news stories about this, was that it seemed like a lot of Japanese people, even though there was a public opinion against the Olympics, a lot of Japanese people were originally very eager to volunteer and to be translators or to host visiting countries, delegations in little towns outside of Tokyo. But I mentioned before, you think of Japanese people as being somewhat conservative, but it seemed like they were actually quite open to having a lot of foreigners come into Tokyo?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. I feel like people in Tokyo are less conservative.
Mm-hmm. Is that why you're moving to Tokyo?
Yeah, kind of. Part of, yeah.
Mm-hmm. What events are most popular with Japanese people to watch during the Olympics? Are Japanese people big fans of swimming or gymnastics, baseball? Well, we know baseball. What are some of the events that Japanese people really like to watch?
Olympic Games.
During the Olympics, yeah.
I think it depends, but maybe like baseball and like judo and gymnastics and swimming and volleyball.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we like everything, I think.
And did you watch any of the Olympics?
No.
No?
No, because I don't have a TV.
No TV?
Yeah.
Did you follow some of the news about the Taiwan team?
Oh, yeah, I do.
Yeah?
Yeah. I've seen like table tennis players got like Taiwan's first gold medal. It was table tennis, right? Oh, maybe it was like badminton.
Yeah, well, Taiwan did well in both of those sports.
Yeah.
A bronze in golf, and Taiwan, quite impressive performance. You know, a lot of attention was given to the name of the Taiwan team.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Certainly, obviously here,
Yeah.
and there was some international media coverage, and there was a big deal made about the NHK broadcaster during the opening ceremony, saying Taiwan and not Chinese Taipei. Now, as a Japanese person and also as a political expert, international relations expert, how do you look at all of this stuff?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah. What do you think of this? I mean, was the NHK broadcaster trying to make a big deal, or they just they said Taiwan, but they didn't really have any other intentions?
Yeah, I don't think it was intentional. Yeah.
You don't think it was intentional?
I don't think so. Yeah. I don't really know though, but I don't think it was very intentional.
So they weren't trying to change relations between Japan and Taiwan?
No, I don't think it was anything political. Yeah. Yeah, because when you say Chinese Taipei, you don't know where it is, you know?
Yeah. Oh, you know where it is since you've been living.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like I say, obviously that got a big attention here.
Yeah, here, but not in Japan, I think. Yeah, I didn't see a lot of people mentioning about it in Japanese. Yeah, it was all in Chinese or English. So yeah.
Looking at the Olympics from outside of Japan, but as a Japanese person, what do you think are going to be some of the key things that people remember about these Olympics? Is it going to be that Japan did very well, and the host country usually does pretty well? Is it going to be behavior by Chinese netizens? Because that's gotten a lot of attention. Is it going to be no audience was inside the stadiums? What do you think are going to be some of the things that people remember most about these Olympic Games?
Maybe no audience, because it will be the first time and the last time that Olympics happened.
Well, let's hope it's the last time.
Hope, yeah. It will be, yeah.
Yeah, we don't know about future pandemics, unfortunately.
Okay, then maybe, no audience. Yeah, people will remember for the rest of its history, I think.
Do you think Japan will ever compete to host another Olympics, or it's going to be a long time before Japan tries to do this again?
Maybe it takes some time, to host the Olympics again, because it's expensive in general, yeah.
Well, Japan is known for spending a lot of money on infrastructure, right? Building roads and things like that to help economic growth. So building stadiums, I guess, makes sense. Falls within that. When you get to Tokyo, do you think you're going to, because it'll only be a few weeks after the Olympics, because you're returning to Tokyo in a couple of weeks. Are you going to go visit some of these Olympic sites? You're going to take a photo outside the Olympic rings?
No, I don't think so.
No interest?
No interest.
As I said, you're leaving Taipei in a few weeks, and you look kind of sad about that.
Yeah.
What are going to be some of your special memories of living in Taipei?
Oh, maybe friends that I made in Taiwan, because I made so many friends from different countries here. Yeah, I will miss them so much when I leave Taiwan.
Other than friends, what else will you miss about living in Taipei?
Maybe like the environment. I mean, like Taiwanese society, because it's very diverse and advanced compared to the rest of Asian countries. Yeah, I will miss it so much.
And you got your master's in international relations. What kind of work are you going to be doing in Japan?
So I'm gonna be working at a think tank in Japan. Yeah.
And you'll be promoting closer relations between Taiwan and Japan, hopefully.
Yeah, I actually want to do that. Yeah.
Well, as a city radio station, I should say, hopefully you'll promote city-to-city relations as well, not just country to country.
Maybe like Taipei to Tokyo.
Exactly, or other cities as well. But on that topic, because it's a really serious topic, and we usually don't talk much about politics on this show, but what are some things that Taiwan could do more to improve relationship? Not in a political sense, but is it as simple as more tourists going to Japan, or should Taiwan export more of its food or its music or things like that? I mean, what would you like to see Taiwan do more of?
Maybe Taiwan can promote its food and culture more to Japan, because I feel like Taiwanese people know so much about Japan, but Japanese people don't know as much about Taiwan. Yeah.
Yeah, well, you said so yourself at the beginning of the show that, growing up, you didn't hear much about Taiwan. How does that compare with Korea? I mean, is Korean culture, K-pop, or is that well known among Japanese people?
Yeah, it is. Like, especially younger generation. Yeah, people are so familiar with like Korean culture, but not Taiwanese culture. Yeah.
So there's actually an opportunity there if Taiwan is starting from a low base, then they can only improve, right?
Yeah, they have so much potential, I believe. Yeah.
When do you think you'll visit Taiwan again? Because you're moving back to Japan.
Yeah.
We have the COVID-19 pandemic. It's difficult to enter the country.
Yeah.
When do you think you'll ever come back to Taipei?
I want to come back as soon as I don't have to quarantine here.
Okay, so government cancel the quarantine.
Yeah, I want to come back as soon. I mean, visit.
Do you have to quarantine when you enter Japan?
Oh yeah, I have to quarantine for 2 weeks.
2 weeks, so same as Taiwan.
Yeah, same as Taiwan.
Do you get to choose where you quarantine, or the government tells you where you go?
Oh, I can choose. I can pick a hotel.
Yeah, so you could pick like the 3-star or the 5-star.
Yeah, I have money. Yeah.
whatever you want.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, unlike some other places where they force people to go to.
No. Oh yeah, actually, they have some facility, but I'm not coming back from Taiwan, so I don't have to go there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're coming back from a safer location.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully you'll be able to get out of that quarantine without going crazy, staying locked up for.
Yeah, I can still go out. Like, the quarantine in Japan is not as strict as Taiwan's. So yeah,
you can actually go out during the quarantine.
Yeah, maybe like once a day or something.
Yeah, that's not really a quarantine. That's like a.
Yeah.
It's like being on a monitor, but not really being quarantined.
Yeah, it's not a quarantine actually. Yeah, that's why we have still many cases in Japan.
You think? Well, yeah, that's fair enough. That's a good point. But as you said earlier, people are just frustrated being locked up. Are Japanese people getting frustrated, but then they see the athletes can come in and walk around the athletes' village? Is there some frustration at that as well, like separate treatment for foreigners?
Yeah, because they live in Olympic village, they live in Olympic bubble, so they cannot come out of it.
But within the bubble, they get to walk around and have fun and.
Oh, but it's fine, I think. It shouldn't be, frustrating for Japanese people.
Okay, well, we're almost out of time, and we want to thank you for coming in and sharing your perspectives as a Japanese person living in Taiwan. Is there one final message as a Japanese resident who's been in Taipei for several years and now you're going back? Is there one final thing you'd like to share with the people of Taipei as you leave Taipei?
I really appreciate how Taipei and Taiwan have treated me for the past couple of years. Yeah, I really had a good time here.
Yeah, had a good time.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you for sharing those perspectives, and it's nice to hear that people of Taipei are considered to be so nice.
Yeah, they're so nice. Yeah, I hope we can get more like connections between Japan and Taiwan.
Okay.
Yeah,
well,
in the future.
Our guest today has been Ayae Yoshimoto, Japanese resident of Taipei, returning to Tokyo. Thank you very much for coming on the show.
Yeah, thank you so much for inviting me here.
You've been listening to Residence Messenger on Taipei Broadcasting Station. Have a great week.